Hello, my name is Chase Wright, and I'm going to be talking about my shoulder surgery and what led up to it. So, it all started in February of this year, and I was playing soccer at the time for my high school, and I ended up landing on my arm really awkwardly, which caused my uh, shoulder to dislocate. And immediately after, I was rushed to the hospital. And I just remember I was feeling super anxious and uncertain about the entire situation because I had never endured this severity of pain before. And I don't know, it was just a new experience for me. So I was super anxious and worried about what was going to happen. But, anyways, we ended up going to the hospital, and I remember they first put me on pain medicine, and then next they got a group of doctors, and two of them were grabbing my arm and bicep, and then another one was behind me, and he was going to push into my shoulder blade to make sure that my shoulder could properly lodge back into place. So they did this by counting down from three, and they were like 3, 2, 1, and simultaneously the doctors pulled on my arm and the other person pushed, and literally within 3 seconds of them doing that, I just heard a noise, and I knew and I felt the just a freaking sigh of relief. As soon as that happened, I felt like the weight of the world was just lifted off my shoulders, and I literally was jumping for joy. I was so happy. The pain literally just was, it just stopped. I mean, there was a little bit of aftershock, but I felt really good, and they just sent me home with a sling, and later on I had to do physical therapy for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I didn't really think much of it. But that wouldn't be the case, because 2 months later, after my first incident, it was over spring break, and I was with some of my family and friends in the Dominican Republic, and on the second day, my friends and I were playing beach football, and I was lined up at wide receiver, and as I was doing my route, this sandcastle was placed perfectly in the middle of it, and as the ball was thrown and gliding through the air, I extended my right arm out, the same shoulder that I had dislocated, and I reached for the ball, and as I was reaching, I tripped over the sandcastle and slammed really hard on my elbow, and this evidently caused my shoulder to pop out of socket for a second time. And basically the same procedure happened in Georgia, except the only difference is that in the Dominican Republic they gave me a higher dosage of pain medicine or relievers, and this actually caused me to become a lot more constipated after, and I just didn't really feel that well. But they managed to put it back into place for a second time, and I just wore a sling the rest of the trip and back home. But later on, after we got back to Georgia, we had an appointment like a week later just for me to get evaluated, and I got my MRI scan, and the results came back that I had torn everything around my labrum, and my shoulder was basically holding on by thin little threads of it. Like, it was not good at all, and the doctors were actually really surprised how the hell I didn't dislocate my shoulder for a third time, because it was literally holding on to nothingness. But they told me that, and they just said, all right, well, you're gonna have to get surgery now. Like, we kind of knew that going in though, but they told me that, and we scheduled the surgery date and it was about 4 weeks after we had made the appointment. So in the meantime, in between then, I just laid low, made sure I was not going to get injury prone to this happening again for a third time, and yeah, just had a low profile. So until the surgery, and then the day of the surgery came, and I was excited and ecstatic. Most people would be nervous or a little nervous, but I wasn't. I was ready to knock this problem out the way and just recover, because, well, I knew going in that it wasn't going to be too bad because it was orthoscopic as well, and compared to an actual surgery, it's not as bad, but it can still go wrong. But I don't know, I just had that kind of positive attitude and mindset, and I knew that I would be okay because my surgeon, Dr. Shu, was super experienced, and she had previously dealt with a ton of shoulder related injuries and whatnot. So I knew I was going to be in good hands. And then knowing that she actually ended up doing a really good job at the end of the day, and there was basically no flaws. She was able to go in there, and she was able to reconstruct everything around my labrum and make sure everything was sound for my shoulder and functionable. And then, so I'm not going to go into too much depth about the recovery because it's way too long, but I basically recovered for like 2 weeks, and then ever since then, I've been doing physical therapy, taking it really serious, and just every day I've been trying to strengthen my shoulder and make sure that I can benefit myself in some way. But if there's one thing that I can take from this, it's that everything happens for a reason, and you need to just accept that accidents happen in life and there's no way of getting around it. And yeah, I could have been mad because of the 2 shoulder dislocations and leading up to surgery, taking a big chunk of my life away from what I potentially wanted to do, and I could be spending my time doing other stuff that I'd want to do. But for me personally, going back to my point that everything happens for a reason, over that time of recovering and my dislocations and leading up to surgery, I was able to spend more time by myself, and I was able to just self-reflect on how far I've come, or how far I've came in life, and who I'm kind of becoming as a person. I know I'm not gonna know that like immediately until like way farther in adulthood, but I don't know, I just really thought about that and like what I want to do in my life and what I want to pursue. And at the same time, I was also able to spend more time with family, and I got to kind of know my mom and my dad a little bit better, and my brother. So if anything, I'm a little grateful for all this trauma that happened, because I was able to take a bad situation and turn it into a okay or acceptable one. So yeah, that's all I have to talk about for today, and thank you. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching.